Did dirty politics kill legislation which would have okayed importing less expensive prescription drugs into the country? The FDA joined the White House and Big Pharma to stop that measure, but now the senator behind that plan says there may have been foul play here. Luis Schiavone takes a look at the allegations.
A bipartisan effort in the Senate this week to open the nation's doors to pharmaceutical imports seemed to be on track with this campaign trail rallying cry from then candidate Barack Obama.
Then we'll tell the pharmaceutical companies, thanks, but no thanks for overpriced drugs. Drugs that cost twice as much here as they do in Europe and Canada and Mexico. We'll let Medicare negotiate for lower prices. We'll allow the safe reimportation of low-cost drugs from countries like Canada.
A little more than a year after that campaign stop in Newport News, Virginia, the head of President Obama's Food and Drug Administration urged a no vote on a drug imports bill proposed by North Dakota Senate Democrat Byron Dorgan. Commissioner Margaret Hamburg raising, quote, significant safety concerns and calling the measure, quote, logistically challenging to implement and resource intensive, end quote. Former Democratic congressional staffer David Sirota, now a left-of-center political analyst, says the Dorgan amendment would have achieved the goals of candidate Obama.
Many of the drugs that people consume at their pharmacy right now are made not in this country. What this bill merely would have done would allow wholesalers and pharmacists to buy those drugs at the international world market price, a lower price than they're being sold here.
The Dorgan proposal, with some Republican backing, would have permitted licensed U.S. pharmacies and drug wholesalers to import FDA-approved drugs from Canada, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Switzerland, and Japan, passing along the savings to consumers, savings which Dorgan says could have been in the tens of billions of dollars over the next 10 years. Those savings are no small matter to the National Research Center for Women and Families.
We were hoping that the time had come when the American public and our public health would be the first priority, not the interests of drug companies. And that's the biggest disappointment, that the drug companies, their lobbyists, as usual, have had their say much more so than they deserve.
The Center for Responsive Politics finds that from 1998 to the present, the pharmaceuticals and health products business was the top spending lobby, investing more than $1.7 billion. The industry leads the pack this year, with expenditures so far listed at nearly $200 million. Pharma, the pharmaceutical lobby's main voice, offered no apologies, telling CNN, quote, the Dorgan amendment was defeated because common sense people recognize there is no way to guarantee the safety and efficacy of medicines brought into the United States outside of the FDA's control, end quote. In the wake of his amendment's defeat, Senator Dorgan has chosen not to comment. The FDA says safety concerns about drug imports are nothing new. And the White House just told me that President Obama still thinks drug importation could work as long as his concerns about safety are satisfied. Erica?
All right, Luis, thanks. We'll continue to watch that.